The structure and organization of manuscripts are among the most overlooked aspects of the publishing process. That's the reason I wanted to talk about it early on before we get to the nits and grits of the academic writing process in the next lectures. Almost every author understands the importance of the overall structure of an article, but still many of them struggle to adhere to it. Here are some of my tested and tried practices that you can implement in your own journey to save up some drafting time down the line. 1. Try to keep 2 digital documents for drafting. The first one is for brainstorming and documenting everything that you might use for the actual manuscript. You don't have to worry about precision, grammatical mistakes, or even the writing process in this document. If you've already written a thesis or dissertation, you can copy the relevant parts from your thesis and just paste them all into this brainstorming file. 2. Once you've compiled all the necessary information, references, and pieces of text, it's time to organize them in the same brainstorming file based on their functions or themes. 3. The second document will be your actual manuscript. I always start with the skeleton or the overall structure of an article and fill in the information as I go on. I do this by writing down the headings corresponding to the overall structure and leaving some empty space in between. The best practice is to stick to the traditional rhetorical sections of an article with the headings such as abstract, introduction, literature review, method, analysis, results, and conclusions. Many novice authors are tempted to be creative about the headings. They make the mistake of writing long, elaborated phrases or even wordy or rhythmic sentences. Remember that the title of your article and major headings are documented in the indexing process. They will be additionally used by the search engines to recognize the content and structure of your article. Therefore, you must only use relatively short and precise phrases with relevant keywords for the headings. You may use the traditional phrase literature review as the main heading and write slightly longer and relevant subheadings for the rest of the literature review sections using the Arabic numerals or other methods as preferred by that journal for listing the headings. 4. Pay attention to the word count. This is one of the aspects that novice authors neglect until the very end of their manuscripts when they find out that they have written more than the word count allowance. At this point, most students try to go around the text and delete some words or sentences here and there or replace some words with shorter forms. They do not understand that this can negatively affect the cohesion and readability of the text. It does not also guarantee that they reach the required word count faster. You might not even know how much to write in each section. I have an easy method for you to follow. Hopefully by now you have followed my suggestions in finding a set of suitable journals as I explained in lecture 6. If so, all you need to do is to gather some relevant and highly cited articles in that specific journal by experts in your field. Copy each section of each article in a Word document and write down its word count in a separate document. Repeat this process for all major sections of an article like the introduction, literature review, etc. for at least 4 or 5 articles. You can even tabulate this information to make them easier to review at a glance. Even though different authors have different writing styles and preferences, you will see a pattern and an approximate range of word counts that the experts in your field use for every section of their papers. All you need is that approximate number or range to start with. Now, back in your main draft, write down these approximate or expected figures or ranges in front of the headings of the main sections. This way, while writing that section, you can keep an eye on how many words you're writing and try to stay within the range you're allowed for yourself. Even better than that is to make text boxes with fixed word count limits for each section and start writing inside those boxes. Some word processors even show you the remaining word allowance and the figures turn red once a few characters remain. Even better than all these methods is to watch the next lecture where I share a secret method to optimize your word counts during and after writing your paper. 5. Finally, use your brainstorming draft to select important parts you want to use for each section and write or paraphrase them in your main draft, this time with correct grammar and other mechanics of writing.